If you think you misread that title, you didn't. I'm deadass. Would Naruto actually break the sequel curse? Naruto, one of the most iconic anime of its generation and arguably one of the most influential shonen series of all time. A show that's been finished for over 8 years and is still breaking records, still being debated and still shaping new anime fans and authors. A cultural pillar. But let's flip the perspective. If Minato happened to have an anime before Naruto came out, would it break the sequel curse? The answer is no.
That's some bullshit.
And it's not because Naruto isn't great. We all know it is. It's just that the sequel curse isn't about quality, but about human nature. Takes like these always make me think, and I tend to overdo it. This is actually not a hot take. That's just how sequels work. And today we're gonna be breaking down why this isn't a galaxy brain insight just about Naruto, and it's actually a textbook example of something much bigger, the sequel curse. Hi, I go by Joe the Anime Girl, or just Joe. And while this isn't technically my first YouTube video, it is my first long-form-ish essay video, so I'm really hoping I don't mess this up.
Not gonna mess this up. Not gonna mess this up. Here we go. Ready?
Now, before we get into the psychology of this, let's define something properly. What is a sequel? A sequel is a narrative written after another story in the same universe. It's chronologically set after the original, but it doesn't have to continue the exact same conflict. There will be a new era, there will be new characters, there will be new dynamics, and new rules sometimes, and that's where the problem starts. Because the moment you introduce new into something people are emotionally attached to, you've already lost half the audience. Now, I've watched a lot of sequels over the years, anime, movies, series, and I've noticed something really interesting. Most of these aren't even bad. Some are great, some are decent, yes, some are flawed, but they are still enjoyable. However, the reception is almost always harsher than it deserves. It's like when a sequel to a beloved story gets announced, people immediately grab their pitchforks, just because the very concept of it exists. And that's exactly why this Minato first and Naruto sequel take isn't hot. Because yes, Naruto would have been hated. Yes, even though in our current reality is the most loved anime of all time. This anime would be trashed to hell for just existing if it was a sequel. All because Naruto would have been the sequel protagonist. And already when it comes to protagonists, people tend to go wild. And this is because you already have people getting deeply attached to original protagonists. They grow up with them, they project onto them, they idolize them. This character can do no wrong in their eyes. So when a sequel introduces someone new, the comparison begins immediately. Imagine this. We start with Minato, a calm, intelligent, talented, respected elite shinobi. And then the sequel drops and now the protagonist is his son. And he's loud and immature and he's weak at the start and he plays pranks to get attention. He doesn't even resemble his father at all in personality. People are even gonna clown him for his looks. The comparison would be brutal.
Minato will never act like this. Minato was already a genius. This kid is annoying.
We've literally seen this exact cycle happen with Boruto. And the uncomfortable truth is that it doesn't matter if Naruto was orphaned, it doesn't matter if he had the 9 tails, it doesn't even matter if he suffered. People literally celebrated when Boruto quote unquote died, so big whoop, no one cares. If you are the sequel protagonist, you will be compared, resented, and you will be judged against nostalgia. And it's not necessarily a Naruto issue, it's just a sequel issue. The next thing we're gonna talk about is rules. Every story has internal rules, power systems, political structures, character dynamics, and tone. Sequels almost always expand or alter these rules. And fans hate that even when it makes logical sense. A perfect example is the transition from Naruto to Boruto. In Naruto, the world was ninja centered, even though we had a literal kaiju in the first chapter. There was old school combat, there were tactical battles, there were hard training arcs. Boruto introduces scientific ninja tools. Technology evolves. Warfare even evolves from between humans to humans versus aliens. Does that make sense in a progressing world? Yes. Did people accept it? Absolutely not. Because it felt different. And for many fans, different equals bad.
New is always bad.
But evolution is natural storytelling. So I'm thinking, if Minato came first and then Naruto dropped with its technology, I'm sure and I bet my last naira that you guys would have lost it. People would even say that Kishimoto retconned everything, even if he didn't. Attachment to original world building makes fans resistant to change, even when change is narratively reasonable. In Boruto, one of the most common complaints is, why doesn't the old cast get more more screen time. But the thing is, it's not their show anymore. When Naruto started, did Minato's generation dominate screen time? No, we barely saw them. In fact, the previous generation got crumbs compared to how much the old Naruto cast appears in Boruto. Now imagine the reverse. Minato anime comes out first, Naruto sequel focuses on a new generation. Minato and his squad barely show up. The think pieces would be insane. This is not hypothetical. We see it every single time a sequel shifts focus. At the end of the day, what all of this comes down to is attachment. That's it. I mean, the only successful sequels I've seen so far are DBZ and then JJK Modulo. And that's due to the writer feeding that attachment. Yuji is now being a protagonist, so of course old JJK fans are hyped, and I swear to god no one knows the name of Yuta's grandkids. And then we have Goku, who's still the MC of all the sequels, so there you have it. People struggle to let go. They didn't just like the original story, they emotionally rooted themselves in it. So when a sequel shifts perspective, changes tone, or introduces new personalities, or even evolves the world, it feels like a loss and people react defensively, which is why you still see people hate watching sequels they claim to despise. Like, if it's that bad, why the fuck are you still here? So if Minato came first, would Naruto have been hated? Yes, probably. It doesn't prove anything about Naruto's quality. Naruto is obviously good. It just proves that the audience have predictable sequel bias. Sequels aren't automatically worse, people are just harsher on them. And until we start recognizing that bias, we're going to keep pretending every sequel discourse is unique when it's the same cycle on repeat.